Hi everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So on today's video we are going to be carrying on from Friday's video. So that was the Mega CEX hunt, where I was visiting 5 CEX stores in 5 towns across one day. But unfortunately I wasn't able to get it into one video because it just ended up being too long. So if you haven't seen that first part yet, I will stick a link up in one of the top corners. Head over and watch that before watching this part. And yeah, what we're going to do now is we're literally going to get straight back to it, and we're going to head off to Gravesend so that we can pick up that collector's edition. And then what we'll do is we'll come back here and we'll have a look through everything that I picked up from Maidstone. Okay, so yes, that is going to wrap it up. But as I did say at the beginning of the video, we have still got some bits to go through. And I wanted to have a quick closer look at the bits that I did get from Gravesend as well. So yeah, in the end I was really chuffed the fact we did actually manage to get to have enough vouchers left over to get this game from Gravesend. And actually it worked out even better for me because it ended up being a bit cheaper and I was able to get a game that we missed out on at one of the other stores. So we'll go through the Gravesend pickups in a little while. First off, I'm going to go through the Maidstone pickups that we've done. So these are the ones that I picked up while I was sort of trading bits in. I saw them while I was there and just decided to grab them. So first off, we have got a PS2 game, and it is Playboy the Mansion. And yeah, I've got vague memories of playing this years and years ago, but it's been one that I've had on my wish list for a while because I've wanted to pick it up. Basically, the best way to describe this is The Sims based in the Playboy Mansion. That's probably the only way I can describe it. It is a bit adult in parts, but the general idea of the game is you play as Hugh Hefner. And you've got to basically build and run the Playboy empire. So yeah, it's a really interesting take on sort of like a management type game. Yeah, as I say, definitely got me very picky about the clips that I put on YouTube of this one. So as you can see, we paid £15 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about £15 on eBay. Then next up, we've got a PSVR game. So as I was looking through the PS4 games, I saw this and I'd never heard of it. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And that is the, I'm going to look at it on the side, Robinson the Journey. So yeah, as I say, this is a PSVR based game, and I will say straight off the bat, there's no footage for this because I just had an absolutely torrid time trying to capture footage for this and both and the other one, which was Zone of Ender. So basically what happened is when I put this into the PS5, it didn't actually recognise it. So it said this isn't a valid PlayStation disc. So I was like, well, maybe it's not supported on the PS5. So got out one of the PS4s, put it in, it all installed fine, no problem. So it's definitely just not supported on the PS5. But whenever then the actual VR kicked in, basically the feed to my capture card just died. So yeah, don't know what happened there, but yeah, for some reason both the VR games there's no footage for. But essentially the way that this game starts is you are on a ship, something sort of tragic happens, the ship blows up, and basically you're sent down in an escape pod down to the planet. And I will be honest, I didn't get too far into it. It was, compared to some of the ones we've played recently, it was very low res. So I found it very blurry in the headset, and yeah, it wasn't very clear on what you had to do. I think as well the problem I had was because I didn't realise that the capture had actually died. I didn't actually have any headphones on, so I was going off the PC sound, and yeah, didn't realise. I just thought, oh, there's no sound on the game. And yeah, it was only after I took the headset off and looked back at the footage that I realised that it didn't actually capture. So yeah, I've probably missed out on a whole load of sort of what to do through not having the sound on. But yeah, it is one I'll go back and give it a go because, as I say, I don't think it's been given a fair shake on this first go round. So as you can see, paid £5 for that one. Looking it up online, it goes for £10 on eBay. Then another game another PS4 game that we picked up, and actually this one was a bit of a pain actually, because I'd looked it up before going. I think this was one that I picked up on my sort of second trip out, and yeah, I'd looked it up before we went, and I saw that it was in stock. Then initially went in the store, looked at the PlayStation games, and couldn't see it. So asked at the till, they're like, yeah, I can see there's one in stock, but I can't find it. So yeah, don't know what's happened with that. And then I sort of walked down, like while they were sort of checking through the discs that I'd brought in, I was walking down to the back of the store, and there was PS4 games there. So I was looking through, and right under J, I saw this one. And that is Journey Collector's Edition. And yeah, the reason I found it under J was because when I initially went in the store, I was actually looking at the PS5 games, not the PS4 games. So that would be the reason why I couldn't find it. And yeah, this collector's edition, it has Flow, Journey and Flower on. I'll be honest, the main reason I bought it was for Journey, but I will admit I will give the other two a go when I get some time. I absolutely love this game. I probably spent about an hour and a half playing it. So yeah, it's definitely one I'm going to go back into it so that we can actually finish it off. And yeah, I can really see why it was so widely sort of appreciated. And yeah, I mean, that was the thing, sort of like I was actually starting to feel a bit guilty, the fact that I'd never actually played this. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I sort of tracked it down. So as you can see, we paid £22 for that one. Looking it up online, it goes for about £30 on eBay. So yeah, it was definitely a good choice to get it from CEX. Then to wrap up the PlayStations for this store, I got a copy of Tearaway on the PS Vita. So once again, there won't be any footage for this because it's not compatible with the PlayStation TV. But yeah, this is a game that I've sort of seen. I think I've briefly played it a couple of times as well. But yeah, this was basically one of the games that was released around the launch of the PS Vita, and the main purpose of it was to basically give the touch panel on the back of the device some meaning. And yeah, this heavily used that when you're sort of playing through it. So paid £8 for Tearaway. Looking it up online, it goes for about £12 on eBay. Then moving on to some Xbox games. We've got an Xbox One game. And we've got Attack on Titan, Wings of Freedom. Now, I will be honest, I have heard loads of people raving about how good Attack on Titan is. I'll be honest, I've never seen it. And playing this, as soon as I played this, I immediately went out and got hold of the anime, because it was just absolutely superb. The sort of the intro cutscene, absolutely brilliant, really sort of drew me in. And then even the gameplay, you think you're playing sort of like a sort of teenager that's basically taking on these massive giants. And you'd think the controls and the sort of the difficulty curve would be off the charts, but not with this. It was actually really, really easy to get to grips with it. And yeah, basically took down the first Titan actually with ease. So yeah, definitely one that I'm going to be going back and playing. I probably will hold off until I've had some time to sit down and watch the anime. So as you can see, we paid £15 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about £25 on eBay. Then carrying on from the PlayStation game, the PS2 game that we got, we've actually got Leisure Suit Larry, Box Office or Bust. So this is another series that I have known about for years, but never really played them. I think we've got one. I've got a feeling that I've got one of them on the PS4. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, I'm pretty sure we've got at least one of the titles on sort of one of the more modern consoles. But yeah, never actually really sat down and spent any time with them. So in this one, you are actually playing, I believe it's Larry's nephew. And basically he comes to work for you at your big movie studio, and you basically play Larry's nephew, and you've got to basically work your way up the ranks in this movie studio. So you're starting off just doing sort of medial work, and yeah, from what I've seen of these games, they are really funny. They lean more into the sort of the comedic side than the sort of the adult side, but yeah, definitely one that we'll give a go at some point. So for Leisure Suit Larry, paid £10 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about £12 on eBay. And then next one. So this was one that I've been eyeing it up for a while, and actually I wanted to get it in the complete version. So it's another Xbox 360 game. We do currently have a copy of this. It's actually recently been re-released, and we have got the collector's edition of the re-release. And that is Death Smiles. So yeah, this sort of cute 'em up shooter is one. Yeah, I've just been sort of trying to find the time to actually sit and play it. So we do have the collector's edition from Strictly Limited on the Switch. But yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to play it yet. So yeah, when I saw that CEX had this one, I immediately sort of grabbed it. You can see there we paid £18 for that. Looking it up online, it goes for about £30. But as I was saying, what I was actually hoping to get at some point was the sort of complete version, which actually comes with an Xbox 360 front plate. So yeah, I think that was sort of American only. So it's definitely one that I'm going to have to sort of import when I want to get hold of it. But yeah, really happy to have the Xbox 360 version. And as I say, I've enjoyed playing it so far. Right, so next up, this is going to be the last pickup from Maidstone. And then before we go on to the Gravesend Pickups, we've got a couple of updates from some of the other games that we've picked up to go through. So this next one is a Game Boy Advance game, and that is the NES Classic Donkey Kong. Now, the reason I've got this, and I'm not sure where I've put it, yeah, it's just down here. We actually got the box for it a couple of months ago in a big bundle that I bought. So I'd been after the cart for a while, and I'd looked online, seen that it was in Maidstone, and just kept saying, oh, I'll go down and grab it, go down and grab it. And this was about 6 months, 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that, that I was saying I was going to go and grab it. That I'll sort out some games and then I'll use a voucher to get it. But just didn't get around to doing it. So, I mean, the first time I went in to trade in some games, I actually completely forgot about it. And then when we went in to pick up Journey, I also went in to pick this up. So, immediately went in, looked at the cabinet with all the retro in, and I couldn't see it there. Now, so I looked online, it's definitely there, it's cart only, so yeah, I don't know why they didn't have it out. So once again, when I was at the till, I was asking them if they had it. It took the guy about sort of 5-10 minutes, managed to find it. It was actually in one of the drawers and not out on display. So what I will say is, if you are looking for stuff in CEX, and I think I had this as well, Sittingbourne, there was a couple of games that I'd had on my list that were actually out the back. So it's always worthwhile, before you head off to a CEX, just jump on the website, and if there's particular games you're looking for, look to see if they're in stock, and then if they're not necessarily on the shelf, just ask, they might actually be out the back. So yeah, this one was put out the back, but we did actually get a bit of a bonus with this one, because as I say, on the website it was listed as cart only, but when I got there, they brought out another box and the manual, which, if I think right, yeah, we don't actually have the manual in here. So yeah, I was almost out of luck to have a complete version. But yeah, so basically what they said was the box wasn't in great condition, so they've just basically bundled it up together as cart only, and essentially just chucked in the manual and the box for nothing, which is absolutely brilliant, because I'll be honest, yeah, the box isn't great, but I've seen a lot worse. So, and actually I've bought games a lot worse as well. So yeah, that was a bit of a touch. So what I might do is I might look to just sort of chuck the box up, see if I can get something back for it. If not, it's not really a problem. But the main thing for me was to actually have the game complete in box, so that we can add it into the Game Boy wall. So for cart only, we paid £10 for that. If we were looking it up online, cart only was about £20 on eBay. So yeah, really happy with that, and definitely one I'm glad to have complete now. So as I say, before we move on, just wanted to give you a couple of updates on the games that we picked up at the other stores that we went through in the car. And the first one that we've got is a bit of a snafu on my part, should we say, and that is Minecraft, the Xbox One edition. So yeah, I knew that there was two versions of this. I knew that you had this one and the crossplay version. CEX is selling a crossplay version for about £18. So I thought, well, probably doesn't make a lot of difference. Yeah, it does. This version is no longer supported in the same way. And yeah, unfortunately, this is not compatible with the Game Pass version of Minecraft. So yeah, unfortunately, I can install it and I can play it, but I can't access any of my save games. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So what I'm going to have to do is to basically bite the bullet and go and pick up the Minecraft version on the Xbox One, not the Xbox One edition. Then I just wanted to sort of talk about the actual games that we picked up. So I will admit, this has been one of the hardest videos to actually capture footage for, and not through the fact of any problems or anything like that, but I just got so engrossed in all of the games that I've been playing, but there's a couple actually that I do want to sort of highlight, and the first one is, this is The Police. So I'll be honest, I originally picked this up for $2.50, and the big reason I picked it up was because it was cheap. So I was like, for $2.50 it's worth a go. Actually, it's really, really good. So you basically play a police officer that's basically being forced to retire by a corrupt mayor. And you've basically got 180 days until your retirement. And in that time, I'm assuming that in that time, you've basically got to bring down the mayor. But I haven't got that far in the story yet. But one of your day-to-day jobs is actually sort of managing the police patrols, sending them out. And yeah, absolutely love this game. It's definitely one that I'm going to be putting in a bit more often. It's definitely one of those ones that you can play and just sort of switch off to. And actually, I will say the 3 games that I'm highlighting in this bit are all very much like that. So definitely shows my mental capacity. So yeah, really chuffed with that one. Then the next one was one that I've heard so many people talking about. And that was the big reason what made me pick it up. And that is Dredge. So yeah, I absolutely love this. I think by the time I was finished, I put this in last, knowing that it was going to be one that I was just going to get stuck into. I think I was playing it for a good sort of like 2 hours. And yeah, absolutely loved it. This is, I'm not even going to be putting this on the Xbox shelf. This is going on my desk because yeah, I am more than likely going to end up playing it again tonight. It's going to be between this one and the next game as to what I'm ended up playing tonight. But yeah, absolutely love this game. And yeah, really, really happy to have it in the collection. And then the last game that I want to highlight is one that I, as soon as I saw it was in stock in one of the stores, immediately put it on my shopping list. And that was Arcade Paradise. So this is one where you start off, you're managing your father's laundry or laundromat. And out the back you've got a couple of arcade machines, and you basically sort of expand the arcade area and essentially switch the laundry business into an arcade business. And yeah, it's just your sort of bog standard management game, but this was deadly for me. It really was. So I mean, I started playing it and I just kept playing it. I kept playing it. Oh, I'll just do one more day. Oh, one more day. And then I look and it's like 2:30 in the morning and I'm like, oh. So yeah, absolutely, by far, probably my favourite game out of everything that we've got today. And yeah, once again, this is going to sit on the desk and probably get played quite a bit. Okay, so let's dive into, so we've got 3 more games to go through, because I actually managed to pick up 2 games at Gravesend. So the first game that we got was actually one that I think it was on the list for Ashford, if I remember rightly, but when I found it at Ashford it had a reprinted cover, and that is the Order 1866. So this was, I believe this was a, no, this was this, no, I don't think it was a launch title, but I think it was very, very close to the launch of the PS4. And yeah, this got a lot of stick when it first came out about sort of the gameplay mechanics, the fact that it was quite a short game, and just a whole raft of sort of people of complaints about it. I will be honest, I absolutely loved it. So I only played through the first mission. Once again, I think I was sort of into it for about 45 minutes. And yeah, really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely one that I am going to go back through and play. It's actually one of the ones that I want to actually put on a to complete list. So I think that's what we're going to be doing for next year. I'm actually going to put a list together before we do the aims for 2025 video. And I'm going to actually put a list together of games that are currently in the collection that I want to play through and complete. So yeah, I better get on that list quite quickly. But yeah, this is definitely going to be on it. This is one that I want to go through and complete. And yeah, as I say, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, obviously I'm paying £8 for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not paying sort of like the £40–50 that sort of people would have paid for when it was first released. But even still, really, really enjoyed it, and definitely one that I'm glad to have in the collection finally. So for the Order, I paid £8 for that, as you saw. it goes for about £10 on eBay. So yeah, it is, as I say, it's one that I've been wanting to add in, but up until recently it's just retained its price. I think sort of when I've looked before, it's been like sort of between £15 and £20, and I was like, no, I'm definitely not spending that on it. But I'm really torn with these next two, because I can't tell you which one that I wanted more. But let's go into the other Gravesend pickup, which you would have seen in the video, and that is the Last of Us Ellie Edition. So yeah, as soon as I saw this, it was one that I wanted. It's been probably a good couple of years that I've been wanting to pick this up, but every time I look at it online, it is just going for stupid money. It's come down a bit, but yeah, up until recently you were looking at 3 digits all day long for this. And yeah, it is, I absolutely love The Last of Us. It was an odyssey, let's just say, to complete it, because I originally bought it when it first came out on the PS3. Was playing it, then for whatever reason ended up having to put the game down, whether something else took me away from sort of playing it, or another game come out, I can't remember. And then about a year later, I think I picked it back up again, got to a certain point. No, that was it. So the first playthrough, I'm going to put this down for a minute. So the first playthrough, I think I got stuck at a point where you're upside down. You're being held upside down by a trap, and you've got to shoot the zombies as they're coming at you. And yeah, I just at the time just could not get it. So I ended up sort of putting the game down, sort of coming away from it, and then that ended up sort of being like a year or 18 months until I picked it back up again. Then sort of was playing it through. Where did I get to? I think I got to around the school. I think that was the point on where I got to, and then for whatever reason just moved away from it and just forgot to sort of pick it back up again. And then once we got the copy on the PS4, so it was basically this time last year, I actually said no, I'm playing through it. So I literally sort of started, I started on like a Monday evening, and I literally just, any spare time I had, I would sort of jump on it. And I think over the course of about a week or so, I went through and completed it. And yeah, I absolutely loved the game. Always have. Yes, I have watched the series. Once again, really enjoyed that as well. I think there's certain elements that were missed out in the series, that yeah, would have been good to add them in, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, when I first saw the Ellie edition, I was like, that is one that I want to get. But as I say, when I was looking at it, it was like 3 figures, and I just could not afford to get it. So yeah, when I saw that, so before we went out, I saw that Gravesend had this, and I was a bit like, right, well, I can't afford to just buy it, but let's see how we get on. And if I've got the vouchers at the end of the day, then we'll head off. And yeah, lo and behold, we literally had, I think, we were short by about, no, we weren't, we were over by about £1 something. But when I originally looked it up on the website before going out, it was actually priced up at £80 on the website. So whether there'd been a price change that morning or something, I don't know. Because when I got to Gravesend, it was actually priced up at £72. So I was like, that's absolutely amazing, because yeah, I was looking around the store and then saw that they had the order, 1866. That was £8. Brilliant. £80, that was the original amount I was going to spend. So yeah, absolutely over the moon. The only problem I've got now is now I want the Joel edition. So I want to get the Joel edition to put it up on the shelf next to it. But unfortunately, that one is more expensive. So looking it up online, on CEX, it goes for about £90. But yeah, I am, you know what I'm like, if there's a set to get, I've got to get it. So yeah, that is going to be very high up the list, for sort of after the new year, is to sort of try and track that down, or at least get the vouchers together so that I can go and grab it. So I mean, we've got a couple of videos coming up where we've got some good amount of vouchers or good amount of fodder that we can trade in for vouchers. So I think if we can do that, then I'll pick it up. But yeah, so as I said, paid £72 for The Last of Us. Looking it up online, it's going for around £65 on eBay at the moment. So yes, it would have been cheaper to buy it on eBay, but the fact that I had the vouchers, it's worked out a lot cheaper because I've not actually spent £72 to buy the games that I used to sort of pick it up, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is the two Gravesend pickups. But as I said, there was one more pickup that I made, and this was one that it's another one that it's one that I really wanted, and I've had the opportunity to buy it a couple of times, but well, actually, I say that I had the opportunity to buy it a couple of times for probably a bit less than what I paid for it, but just didn't want to pull the trigger at the time. But obviously, because we had vouchers, it was a bit easier to justify the cost. And it's actually a Wii game, a Wii U game, and it is Mario Kart 8 Limited Edition. So this was one that was released with the blue shell. And basically, yeah, it's just like a little model of the blue shell, and yeah, as soon as I saw that I could get hold of it, I think when I was looking, there was literally one CEX in the whole country that had this, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pull the trigger on it. So after including shipping, we paid £57.95. The list price was £55, and then obviously £2.97 for shipping. And yeah, looking at it now, it's not as bad as when I initially looked at it. When I initially sort of got it out of the box, I was very much like, yeah, I'm going to keep it, but I think if I'd seen it sort of in person, I probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger. But now, bar sort of a couple of marks on the box, it is fine. It really is. There's no problems with it, and all I can say is I am just really glad to have this in the collection. I will be honest, I don't know where I'm going to display it, because the Wii U shelf, so it is the right size, but I just think that covers up too much having it there. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but we will find somewhere to display it in the games room. So as I say, paid £57.95 for that. Looking it up online, they're going for about £70. So yeah, it's definitely a good pickup, whatever way you sort of scratch it. And that is going to be everything. So yeah, let's run through the totals quickly before we wrap up. I'm not going to include the CEX pricing for the stuff we got from Level Up Games, just purely because I think there was only one game in there that was available at CEX, and that was Cutthroat Island at £25. But yeah, I'm just not going to. Other than that, everything else come from CEX, so yeah, there's no point. So total spent today was £531.45. Obviously, that does include the £40 that we spent at Level Up Gaming, but that was separate to what we had for the CEX budget. And then if we picked up everything we could from eBay, we would have been looking at £669.50. So yeah, we've saved about £130 over everything we've picked up. But obviously, if we look at it from the perspective of is that I've not paid that amount for all the games that we traded in, we're probably into everything for, even with the 40 quid that we spent to Level Up Games, I want to say around sort of 250. I don't think we're into it for much more than that. So yeah, that is a really good stack of games to pick up for just £250. So with that, I am going to wrap the video up there because I haven't done any of the editing on this video yet, and I don't know how long it's going to be running. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.